Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video I've had quite a few requests for, and that is an updated game room tour. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these, and a lot has changed in the game room. I've had a lot of new collectibles and games into it. So I'm pretty much going to go through everything that's on show in the game room, the Sonic collection, and some of the other collectibles that I don't have on show. So I'm just going to give a quick whirl of the collection first, just to show you what you'll be in store for in the video. Okay, so I'm going to start the tour with the top of the display cabinets. I'm going to go through everything I have up here, such as the games, DVDs, figures and statues, before making my way down to what's inside the display cabinets, and then moving around to the other side of the room. So I'm going to start on the right hand side here with my anime DVD collections. I'm a big fan of anime, most notoriously the two anime giants, that is Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. Just started collecting the Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray sets, just up there, and this is currently today all the Naruto Shippuden box sets that are available in the United Kingdom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all the games and DVDs first before going into more detail with the figures and statues at the front. Behind here I have my PlayStation 2 games. I do have more, but I will be coming to that later on in the video. Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, huge fan of the Devil May Cry games. There's a few Sonic games at the bottom. Parappa the Rapper 2, absolutely love that game. PlayStation 3 games, don't really play too much on the PS3. More of, only really play the exclusives that are on it, more so playing on the Xbox 360. Above that, I have PlayStation 1 games, don't have too many. Probably my favourite out of that is Tombi or Toonbi. Absolutely love that game, it's a 2D platformer. Come up to a few Mega Drive games. For some reason I own 2 copies of The Lion King, I don't know why. Some PSP games, don't own many PSP games, and a couple of UMDs. Start down the bottom here with some Sega Saturn games. You can just see there. Got Sega Rally at the bottom, Guardian Heroes, House of the Dead, big House of the Dead fan, played them all, got most of them, and Clockwork Knight, another classic platformer. Some Dreamcast games. And one of my largest game collections for a console is the Nintendo GameCube. Absolutely love that console. Some of my favourite games of all time are on this system, such as the Resident Evil remake, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, as well as many more. Starting next to that we have the Wii. Some really awesome games on that too, such as Twilight Princess, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And my modest Wii collection at the minute, or Wii U I should say, sorry. It's just starting to grow, but there's still some really good games that I'm looking forward to in the future for that, such as the new Super Smash Bros. And Bayonetta 2. My Nintendo DS collection and 3DS, although I only own a couple of 3DS games. Majority on the DS are either Mario, Sonic or Pokemon games. Behind Link here I have my Xbox 360 games. I'll just move them out of the way quickly. popping him back. Okay, next we have my Blu-ray collection. I have 2 rows here. A lot of it's Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I'm quite a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I did have the opportunity to meet him a couple of years ago too, while in a book signing in London. I do have a video of that on my channel if you're interested on that. Behind there is a Terminator book. It's not long been out there. It's called Terminator The Vault, I think. It's got all like a lot of information if you wanted to know about the Terminator films. Okay, starting with the stuff at the front of the DVDs and games. Starting with this guy right here. This is the exclusive edition of First 4 Figures statue Shadow the Hedgehog. He is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, I've got the lights on for him at the moment too. He's number 41 too. Next to him here is a Ganondorf statue slash figure. This was actually a part of the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker Wii U's collector's edition that come with it. So he's really awesome. I've also got a review up of that also. You've seen this guy also. This is obviously a Link plushie. It's probably my favourite Zelda item I own. I really do like that plush. Especially the fact that he's actually holding the Master Sword there as well. Next to that I have a Gohan plush. This is starting to come into the Dragon Ball Z collectibles I have at the front here. As well as many various Dragon Ball Z figures. If you can't tell, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, my favourite character is Frieza. Now we come to some of the HQ DX figure lines, which is these ones with the black bases, which have absolutely incredible attention to detail at quite an affordable price too for what you're getting. There's a Goku there. It's third form Frieza, Piccolo, and final form Frieza. And probably my most favourite Dragon Ball Z collectible I own is this amazingly detailed 100% full power Frieza. This one did cost quite a bit more, but he is absolutely incredible. You can see the attention to detail there, even the blood that's been put on him. And also another one of my favourite characters from the show, and that is Kid Gohan. Another one of the HQ DX figures. And behind that there's just a pack of Dragon Ball Z cards. And just a random picture of Frieza there. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the Sonic collection that I have in the display cabinets. To minimise glare and reflection, I've actually opened the doors to the cabinets. That way I can get a good look inside there without having any of the reflection glaring back. So I'm going to start off with this shelf here. Not going to go into too much detail on everything, otherwise I'd be here all day. I'm just going to talk about probably some of the more interesting things in there. So starting with this one right here, this is actually a pretty rare Sonic plush from the Australian Sega Sydney World. Really like that one, as he's got a really interesting design for a Sonic plush. Like huge, big, sort of anime-ish eyes. Sonic Adventure 1 Sonic plush, albino pastel Sonic. And probably my favourite Sonic plush featuring Sonic is this one here, which is the Sonic Adventure 2 Soap Shoes Sonic plush. He's in mint condition and also tagged, as you can see down there. Moving down to my Robotnik shelf, have a really rare Dr. Robotnik, which is also from the Australian Sega Sydney World, plush here. They come in 3 sets, most of the plushes from Sega Sydney World, like a small, medium and large. This is the large version of the Dr. Robotnik plush. He's in fantastic condition, pretty much brand new. He is also tagged. Show you the tag there. Sonic X Dr. Eggman plush tagged. Behind there is a Sonic Underground Dr. Robotnik puzzle, boxed. Pretty rare to see that design of Robotnik in any merchandise, as it's mostly either the classic or modern design, so that's pretty rare. There's a couple of little Tommy Badniks on the top there too. Classic Dr. Eggman plush, and many various figures or items related to Dr. Eggman or / Robotnik. Got Yo-Yo there. This one is actually part of the chess piece set, the discontinued chess piece set. I might add, I will be coming to the other pieces soon. Many other figures related. It does go all the way to the back there. You might be able to see a few of them hiding. One back there hiding too. Moving down to this shelf, definitely have a few gems on this shelf. This is actually the First 4 Figures 20th anniversary Sonic statue. What makes this one more so special is this wasn't available to the public. You could only usually get it through like competitions and such, or if you did have a huge wallet, buy one off of eBay. They have come down a little bit in price since they were first listed though. Next to it I have a Sonic Adventure 2 Rouge the Bat plush. On top of her is Sonic X Rouge. I have a Sonic the Fighter's Amy keychain plush. And what she's sitting on is a very rare Knack the Weasel, or Fang the Sniper as you will, from the Sonic the Fighter's plush set. He's the only actual one I own from the Sonic the Fighter's plush set, the big ones. But he's probably one of the most rarest, and he is in mint condition and also tagged. And next to that is a Japanese Amy item. You can see the spelling mistake there. Here's the other discontinued chess pieces that were released in the UK. There was only 4 that they released. And in front of that is the Sonic Vevs. Below, coming down to some towels collection, have the exclusive First 4 Figures towels, as well as many other various plushes and figures around them and keychains. That's the Sonic X Volume 1 towels there, Sonic Adventure towels, as well as many other collectibles of him. Okay, moving up to the next cabinet. Starting out of here, this is the very first First 4 Figures Sonic statue that was released. Many various Sonic collectibles there. Pretty rare Sonic Sega World statue there. This item right here, this was actually a part of the Sonic Generations Collector's Edition. I do own it, I've just sort of, the box is away, but I've sort of got all the collectible bits that were a part of it and put them in a display cabinet. The foot there is actually a keychain. Got a Sonic the Hedgehog mug. And pretty rare there if you can see, that's actually a Sonic the Hedgehog perfume bottle in the box. I actually got that from Spain quite a few years ago when it was out. It's become quite a rare collectible over the years. And they're both sitting on the Sonic Neon Droid. Coming down to the next shelf, this is the First 4 Figures exclusive modern Sonic statue. Surrounded by many other various collectibles. That's the Sonic Generations ring. There's a Sonic Adventure 2 shadow figure at the back there, boxed. These collectible bits here are actually really rare. Minus the yo-yo, this is actually my Sega World collection. Not the Australian one, this was actually the Sega World that was in the United Kingdom. That was situated in the Trocadero in London, near Piccadilly Circus. Now I only managed to get there once, and most of these collectibles I got when I was down there at the time. So I've got a couple of pin badges there. That's a Sega World pen. It's actually a pretty rare metal Sega World pin badge there. It's a Sega World Sonic magnet and a Sega World mug. And sitting on that is actually my original Sega World ticket that I had when I went there. I'm going to have a little look behind it. You see, it was $14.90 family pass for one ticket. The date, 22nd of December 1998, so quite a long time ago. Some Knuckles stuff, exclusive First 4 Figures Knuckles. There's a Sonic Adventure Knuckles plush there. Keychain. Moving down to the bottom shelf, I have two exclusive statues together here. This is the Super Sonic and Metal Sonic. They're both down here is because they're quite heavy and I don't really trust putting them on their own shelf. And some other collectible badges and figures here. Metal Sonic's probably my favourite out of the First 4 Figure statues, just for the fact that he looks totally awesome and menacing. And the fact that he's got a light on his feet, his blaster there, and his booster at the back also lights up, as well as his menacing red eyes. Okay, moving up. This is kind of miscellaneous Sonic items on here. This shelf was going to be where First 4 Figures Shadow was going to be going. But what I didn't realise until I got him is that he's far too big to sit in there. So I've kind of fitted many various Sonic related items in here. Hopefully the next Sonic statue that First 4 Figures release will fit in there, as long as it's not too heavy. So... got the History of Sonic the Hedgehog book there. Got a couple of rare Sonic Tomy games at the back here that are boxed. That's a Sonic Duel game. And if you can just see that there's a Sonic the Hedgehog Tomy water game there that's boxed. This item right here that you can see that Werehog's sitting on, this is actually the Sonic X Astro discs that were released about 10 years ago to coincide with Sonic X. This is actually a full box in the actual original display packaging that they was in. And that is actually a full set, never before opened. Moving down, have many more various Sonic related items. And they're all kind of sitting on a Sonic the Hedgehog board game. Come down to some Sonic plushies. Sort of a mixture of various ones here. Majority of them are the Sonic X either Volume 1 or Volume 2 plushies. And coming down to another row of many various plushies. I own a lot of Sonic plushies. I don't tend to buy them anymore because I don't have the room. There's actually another row of plushies behind these ones. I sort of put the more interesting ones at the front. Okay, moving on to the last display cabinet. This is my Terminator collection. Many various Terminator bits there. That's Terminator 1 and 2 on Blu-ray at the back there. At the back there is a T1000 propped claw. And standing tall over all that is the Hot Toys T800 Terminator. Now he is absolutely fantastic. The quality on this is absolutely incredible. I've sort of gone for the pose here where he's about to kill Sarah Connor in the Technor bar. If you've watched Terminator 1, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, moving below, this is my Resident Evil collection. So I'm a really big fan of the Resident Evil games. It's one of my favourite game franchises. And this is my collection. I'm sort of at the moment trying to collect every Resident Evil game that has been released, as it's quite feasible, but there are a couple of rare expensive games to pick up. Let's see, Resident Evil novels at the back there and a couple more games. This here is another Hot Toys. This is the Albert Wesker Midnight version, and he is another fantastic attention to detail figure. I've sort of gone for the classic Resident Evil 5 pose he has. His eyes do light up on this one, if you didn't know. So it sort of really does mimic the game. This here is really cool. This is actually my copy of Resident Evil 6, but I've actually managed to get it signed by Courtney Taylor, Yuri Lauvenhau, Troy Baker and Roger Craig Smith, who all voice together Ada Wong, Finn, Jake Mueller and Chris Redfield. All got that signed in person, so that is really a nice collectible that I own there from pretty much most of the main cast of the game. Okay, moving down, I have some Sonic games in here. These are actually all the authentication cards that come with the first 4 figure statues, so I've just sort of put them here because they look pretty cool. This is actually a pretty rare sealed copy of Knuckles Chaotix, the Japanese edition. Sonic Adventure boxed figure there, many various games. And some more Sonic plushes. Okay, now we'll move on to the other side of the game room. Got these couple of bits here first. That's a Sonic and Shadow plushie. That's a Tomy Sonic the Hedgehog pinball game. And also from Tomy, this is a fairly uncommon Sonic the Hedgehog Cyclone game. A couple of loose figures, some boxed ones there. And looking at the game room from this side, I have many various Jazzware Sonic figures boxed. Sonic X figures, Sonic Free Riders, some more Jazzware, there's a Sonic Dangler there also. Coming up to this shelf, have 3 giant Sonic X talking figures. Unfortunately Sonic's the only one that still works in the set. The batteries have died in Knuckles and Tails. But I can give you a little test of what Sonic's like. If you've got sharp ears there, you'll realise that even though it's a Sonic X figure, that is actually a quote from Sonic Adventure. Got a Sonic money back there, still with the milk chocolate coins. Fairly uncommon now, that is the Comic Con Jazzware exclusive flocked Sonic figure. Above that we have Sonic, Tails and Knuckles plushies in their box. Coming to this side we have more Sonic figures, Sonic X figures and a couple of overspills there. There's a Sonic bobblehead there, I've just got him on his side. I have Sonic X Megabot Series 1 figures. Jazzware 20th Anniversary Super Sonic. Couple more. And we have a couple of posters here. Coming up to over here, this is kind of overspill of my Sonic collection that's just gotten a bit out of hand. This is like going above the door. So now moving on to the middle shelf, this is my Digimon collection. So I'm also quite a fan of Digimon, although only Series 1 and 2. I could never really keep up with it after the other series when they changed all the characters around all the time. So yeah, this is all from Series 1 and 2. Have many various plushies at the back there. And a lot of figures. More going down there also. Coming on to my sort of Nintendo collection bits here. Now, I don't really go out of my way to buy any of these bits here. This is sort of like bits that have come when I've bought like magazines or games as pre-order bonuses. With the exception of the Pokemon tins there. This is pretty much, I didn't buy any of this. It's sort of come with other stuff. But there's some really nice bits here that I've got over time. It's actually a pretty rare Mario Golf ball. It was a pre-order with Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on the GameCube. Smash Brothers battle cards. Got a Mario and Zelda encyclopedia little books underneath here. Coming down here is just some many various soundtrack CDs that I've got. Some of them are Nintendo. I've got a Resident Evil one there. This is actually an anime collectible from Naruto Shippuden. This replica scythe. This isn't actually a GameCube here. This is actually a pre-order bonus you got for pre-ordering the Nintendo GameCube from a UK retailer Game. It was called Game, yeah. You get sort of a little CD-ROM in there, as well as sort of some double points for pre-ordering. That's a little cool little box. Have a couple of Pokemon tins for the Pokemon cards. I have lots of Pokemon cards. This is what I actually keep most of my sort of, I'd say, rare Pokemon cards. Majority of them from the first couple of sets in this little book here. Have a Nintendo beanie and a Marvel notepad here, which I do some writing in. Next we have like a sort of a Mario frame, although I don't have anything in it. A couple of Wii U coasters. And underneath that I have a Dragon Ball Z box, although I don't actually have anything in it. I think it's just got a few like comics in it. And below that I have the box for the 20th anniversary first 4 figures Sonic statue. The other boxes I have in the loft. And below that I have a very large collection of Nintendo official magazine. I do have a lot more video game magazines. I've put a lot in the loft, and a few of the other ones I wanted to keep are in these trunks over here, if you wanted to know what they were. This over here is actually my dead PS3. It sort of serves as just an ornament. I've yet to reclaim another one yet. I'm either debating whether to buy one or get one of the newer generation consoles. Okay, for anyone curious, this is my setup. This This is my television that I do most of my gaming on. This is a Samsung 46 C8000. It's an absolute stunner of a television. The setup I have down here at the moment is the Xbox 360. It's a Blu-ray player. I have the Wii there as I'm playing a few GameCube games. And the Wii U is situated there. You can see there. And there's a couple of sort of random things here. I've got, for some reason, a moustacheless Eggman who's just standing there. There's a Frieza standing there. And a couple of the Gacha balls there from the Sonic racing game. As well as a big stack of DVDs. Moving over to this side of the room, I have a huge stack here of game walkthrough guides. I actually quite like buying game walkthrough guides if it's a game or game series that I really like. Not mostly for the fact that I don't need them to help me, it's just I really like looking at the character artwork and bios and such. Or maybe stuff that I didn't know about the game. I mean, the majority of them here are either Resident Evil, Sonic or Nintendo. I think they pretty much all are. Got the Resident Evil Archives 1 and 2 book there. Archives 1's actually become quite a rare book to come across now. Premier edition of Super Mario Galaxy. And also the collector's edition of Mario Galaxy 2. Have a box of Dragon Ball Z trading cards here at the top. And coming down here I have many various Pokemon trading cards packs, some opened, some still sealed. Next to it I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pack of cards, as well as many different series of Dragon Ball Z trading cards that I've come across over the years. Down here I have an Animaniacs cover for this trunk. I've had this absolutely ages. I was quite a big fan of the Animaniacs in the 90s. One of my favourite cartoons back then. Have a Sonic and Shadow plushie just sitting there. Coming onto the side of the wall, starting at the top, I have yet more overflow with the Sonic collection. Some Sonic plushies there, as well as some Nintendo posters. Going to this top bit of this side, I have more plushies from many various different things. I have a Pichu one there, a Link, Super Monkey Ball, Virtual Fire, a Waluigi, and a couple of Naruto plushies. And a Mario and Toad there. What is actually else is up there is they're pretty much all in front of my video game consoles and boxes. That's where I pretty much store most of them. So they're sort of all sitting in front of them. Okay, so I haven't said anything about these yet. If you're a regular subscriber to my channel, you know I'm quite a big fan of the Fleetway Sonic the Comic. So I'm actually pretty good friends with the actual main artist, who's Richard Elson. So if you know who that is, the name speaks for itself. And these are in a couple of actual original drawings that he's done for me. So this is like absolutely awesome. Just to let you know, these aren't actually the originals. I wouldn't put the originals and blue tack them on the wall. These are actually photocopies that I've got on here. Okay, moving on to this side of the wardrobe, I have a couple of stickers on here. And inside the wardrobe I have even more game related stuff. I'll start with the actual door of the wardrobe first. I have some posters on here. And in here, starting with the top shelf, I have yet even more strategy guides, some manga, another Digimon item I've got here, which is pretty cool. This is actually the official character guide, but not just that. This is actually signed by, I believe it was Roger Epcar, who was the voiceover of Myotismon, who was like pretty much the main villain for the series. So that's pretty cool. Moving in here, I have Game Boy Advance games that I don't have out. Mostly all Pokemon. Some various accessories for computer games. Some books there. And this is pretty much where I keep either my handhelds or controllers for the consoles. See, I've got PSP, Game Boy Micro, Nintendo 3DS. That's what some games are in. Got some controllers here. Moving below, if you can see that, I've got some more controllers, the Wii U controller. And this is actually my Sonic comic collections that I have in here. In here I have the complete Fleetway comic set, which is all 223 issues, in pretty much mint condition. Nearly got all the free gifts as well as the posters. I also have every single Archie Sonic comic in here, from issue 1 to we're up to 250 something now, as well as all the Sonic Universe, Sonic X, and some of the other spin-offs, but I only really keep to the main ones on them. As an example, I'll open one of the lids to show you what one of them looks like inside. So this is one of my Fleetway sets. That was just one of the free gifts. Just pop that there. This is what I keep them all in sleeves and backing board to keep them in immaculate condition. Just pull one out at random there. And these here are just some random Sonic the Comic doubles. Okay, now I'm going to move on to some other collectibles and items that I don't have on display. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the special case Sonic games and one soundtrack that I don't have on display, and they're special because they have been signed by people that are involved in the game. First one here is Sonic Jam, one of my favourite Sonic games from the Sega Saturn, and it has been signed by Takashi Iizuka. You can see there who is the current head of Sonic Team. Next one might be a bit hard to see, but this one is Sonic Adventure 1 on the Dreamcast, which has been signed by Jun Senoun. Which is, there is a sort of spar at the moment. I missed the signing session with him for one of the events, and I was lucky to catch up with him later, and I could only get him to sign in Biro, but I'm happy with that nonetheless. The next one is Sonic Adventure 2 20th Anniversary Edition soundtrack, which is also signed by Jun Senoun. That was signed a couple of years ago now. The next one, a more recent signing. This one is Sonic Colors, which was signed by Mike Pollock, who, if you didn't know, is the voiceover of Dr. Eggman / Robotnik. If you can't see what he's wrote there, he's wrote Who's Better Than You, Mike Pollock, aka Dr. Eggman. He was a really nice guy to talk to. Probably two of my favourite Sonic games signed now. This is a mint condition copy of Sonic CD on the Mega CD, which is signed by, I'm not sure if I'll pronounce it right, but it's Kazuki Hoshino, who is the creator of Metal Sonic and other well-known Sonic characters such as Amy Rose, and many more. And my most favourite Sonic game signed, it'd be this one right here. And this is obviously Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast, but this is signed by both Takashi Iizuka at the bottom there and Yuji Naka right above for Sonic's 20th anniversary. So that is really awesome. None of these were bought. These are all signed in person. I don't buy signed games, so I only ever get stuff signed by people in person. These are my Sonic DVDs. This is the complete arc here of Sonic X. These are the USA DVDs. Up until this one here that says So Long Sonic. These are the only 4 volumes that were released in the UK of Sonic X. And the pretty rare now Sonic the Hedgehog the movie on DVD. Complete box set of Sonic Underground. This one here is actually the USA edition of Sonic the Hedgehog or Satam, with the special, I think it was fan art they did. It's like all fan art throughout the whole of the box set. It's really nice. Miscellaneous one there of Underground, and the complete box set of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as one there that's just out of the box next to it. Okay, I forgot this one. This is the Sonic Christmas Blast DVD from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Also a bonus disc in there with just some random episodes of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. These are the actual only VHSs that I still own from back in the 90s. These are all the volumes they released for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as the VHS edition of Sonic the Movie. There is one more VHS from this set, and that is I have in the display cabinet. You might just be able to see it there behind the statue. It's the last volume of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog they did. I use it as a prop to hold up one of the items there in the back, that Amy item. Okay, so I do own some animation cells. They're all from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and pretty much all the ones I own are either about Robotnik or he is in it. I'll try to minimise the glare. This one I was believed from the episode Babysitter Jitters. I think I've got a few from that episode. Pretty hilarious episode. That's one of Mama Robotnik there. Yes, viewers beware, that is a naked Dr. Robotnik. That's like the next scene from the first cell I showed you there. One of Wes Weasley. And probably my favourite animation cell I own, and the only one with Sonic and Tails actually, and is this one. That's a pretty cool one. Behind that I actually have a script for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, sorry. As you can see there, this one was from the episode of Mama Robotnik's birthday. As you can see there, this is the actual script that that I've used while recording the voices. That's pretty cool, and it's signed as well there. Behind that I have 2 copies of the 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog that Games Master did, which is a UK magazine. One I've opened and read and used all the little cool freebie bits, and one of them is still sealed and not opened. Now, if you used to ask me what my favourite items were in my Sonic the Hedgehog collection, it would be these. And it is my collection of original artwork from Sonic the Comic. As I said before, I'm a huge fan of the Fleetway Sonic the Comic, and I've been lucky enough to obtain quite a few original artworks from the actual comic, from many different artists that have worked on the comic series. So I'm not going to cover too much detail on these because I own so many, and this is only a few selections that I've just picked out here. I would like to get around to doing another video, maybe getting more detail on all my collection. If any of you want to see that, leave a comment below and maybe I'll get around to doing it one day. So yeah, just going to have a quick gander through here what I've got. The mighty Running Wild arc, the full arc I might add this is. Okay. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the Archie comics, but I do own one artwork from Archie, and that is this one right here. And this is actually from issue 200, from artist Tracy Yardley. Gee, at the top there. I have a random selection of sealed Sonic posters and some Sonic wrapping paper for all your present needs. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog lunchbox up there. A 3D Sonic the Hedgehog chess game. And some random Sonic Pogs in there. And also a Sonic X Astro Disc shooter. And going back to some Digimon stuff here, I actually have, quite rare, this is actually issue 1, issue 2 and issue 3 of the official Digimon comic that was released in the United Kingdom, which would have been at the time the 4th of October 2000, so 14 years ago amazingly. So yeah, I've actually kept these all that time, and they do contain the free gift. I'm certain some of them do, yeah. That one there. Does the first one have anything? No. And then there's just a random one here, which I don't think was from like the official comic, but it's just like sort of an all about Digimon thing. And that is pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much everything worth showing in the game room. If there's anything in this video or any collectible that you've seen that you'd like me to go through in more detail, like in a review and such, then feel free to let me know, and I'll see if I can get around to doing that sometime. But yeah, thanks everyone if you managed to hang out to the very end of this video. I know probably not everyone managed to watch the whole thing, as it's turned into quite a long video. But I'm very grateful if you managed to watch the whole thing. And maybe in about another year's time I'll get around to doing another room tour. But from now, from me, as this poster says it, thank you very much for watching this video.